And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, well, let me see if our soundboard is working. Any sound there, Josh? No sound. Okay, so maybe I don't sound as good as I thought. Well, sound now. Okay, so got to plug the plug back in a little bit better. But hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we're celebrating today. Celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. All or Nothing Day. Yeah, that doesn't sound very exciting. Aunt and Uncle's Day. Yeah, okay.
It is what it is.
Now we're getting into the good stuff. National Bagel Fest Day. I like bagels. Where do you get the best bagels? I'll tell you mine. It's hands down because again, having beaten anorexia, I know these things. Shirley's Bagel. Costa Mesa, Newport Beach, and Laguna Beach. They make the best bagels. Shirley's Bagel. And it's also National Coffee Milkshake Day. You know, I wouldn't even know where to get a coffee milkshake. Where do you get coffee milkshake? I'm not familiar with them, so you know, if it's a milkshake, you know, I don't really even like coffee ice cream, and I like ice cream, but coffee milkshake day. Let's take a look. Dow Jones Industrial Average is it's up almost 40 points. The S&P at 500 is down almost 5. The NASDAQ down 36, almost 37. Oil down 54 cents a barrel. $79 a barrel right now. That's been going up way too much, and we know that it's gonna affect gas prices. And lo and behold, yes, gas prices are up a nickel a gallon on a national level, and nickel a gallon overnight. $4.92 a gallon here in the formerly Golden State. It was $4.90 yesterday. Last year, $4.90 last year. So gas prices flat on a year-over-year basis. Josh, did your gas prices go up overnight? No, yours is still the same. $4.23 still there in Nevada. Arizona, $3.83. Colorado, $3.90. And let's see what Lori's paying. Our tremendous underwriter, she's gone up too. $3.27 a gallon of gasoline. Let's see what else is going on in the news. Watching a lot of news coming out today. And it's going to be interesting when we see all the different news stories that come out. But, you know, and the biggest one, obviously, 11 o'clock here on the West Coast, we're going to get the Fed, the results of the Federal Reserve's meeting, the Fed meeting. We know they're going to increase interest rates by 1/4 point. That's a given. The question is going to become, what are they going to do with the commentary afterwards? The commentary starts at 11:30. So that's when we get a lot of the fireworks that come out. Get a lot of fireworks from the Federal Reserve because for some reason, Jay Powell is not able to stay on script. And I don't know what the deal is. He comes out, they say they're they're going to hold rates or they're going to raise rates. Today they're going to raise them. We know that's going to happen. But they come out there and they just tell us that raise a quarter. Well, then Powell comes out, issues a statement, and then during the question and answers, he seems to step on his toes.
Idiot. Such an idiot. Such an idiot.
Jay Powell and the Federal Reserve. Speaking of such an idiot, well, apparently we've got breaking news coming across right now. Are you following the story at all? I know that the New York Times is not. Hunter Biden's plea deal appears to crumble as the Biden family legal woes worsen. So apparently, if you're not following this, Hunter Biden was supposed to be going to court today to enter a guilty plea as part of a plea bargain. And apparently the news coming across the wire right now is that, the deal may not be happening. They might have found that, it's just a little bit too much here. It's a little too much for anybody to believe that he's going to get off with no penalties for all these issues that's gone on. So we'll be watching that. Does it have any effect on the markets? We don't know. Geopolitics generally has some major effects on the markets. So we're always watching that to see what's going on there. Why does it have effect? Well, markets don't like uncertainty. They know right now with Joe Biden what they've got. Yeah, I know. So we already heard him on tape saying that that if they didn't get money paid or a person fired, that he was going to withhold U.S. funds. That was when he was vice president. So we know that that's not abnormal for him. But what would a President Harris look like? She has trouble with, well, I shouldn't say that. She has a lot of problems. So the market doesn't know how to handle that. So there would be some volatility in there. So we're watching all of these things. Teamsters, the UPS and the Teamsters got together. There's no strike coming. They got a deal. Apparently all the Teamsters, all the drivers there, they're going to get an extra $250 raise for the rest of this year, $750 over the next 5 years. So watching that one. Rudy Giuliani admits to making false statements about mother and daughter Georgia election workers in 2020. Again,
Surprise.
does that surprise anybody? Ron DeSantis cutting a huge portion of his staff on his election campaign. Apparently, he spent too much money on things that didn't matter. We're getting to this point to find that, he's not really the candidate. Maybe he's not quite ready for prime time. It's amazing it's funny because you get all these bombastic comments from Donald Trump, and fascinates me how many of them come true. Just throw that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, tips for making your best offer on a home, your most common credit questions, and we're going to start a little bit of a dialogue on the S.A.V.E. plan for students. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. Make the call. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OPMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. We don't know the APRs, points paid, points received. They just tell us locked rates. 30-year conforming up 6.874. 30-year jumbo up 7.025. 30-year FHA up 6.778. 30-year USDA down 6.754. And the 30-year VA loan, best loan on the market, 6.645. That one was up as well. So looks like pretty much a clean sweep yesterday. Almost every one of them were up. And again, those are yesterday's locked numbers. So we can't get much closer than that for you. We just got the numbers as of yesterday. Let's see what the markets are doing today as we watch and wait for the Federal Reserve commentary to come out. 10-year Treasury down 2 basis points. We're looking at the S&P 500 is down 5. Mortgage-backed securities are up 9 basis points. Why? What's driving all this? Well, anticipation. So we're hoping the Fed won't hurt us too bad with their comments today, but it's likely that they will be hawkish in their tone and reiterate their need to kill inflation, even though we've seen such good progress. And we know that the increases in interest rates generally take 9 to 18 months to flow through the system. So rates that were increased last month or the month before that, they haven't even got through the system yet, and we're already seeing the benefits from the ones from quite a while ago. There is likely to be a lot of volatility, knee-jerk reactions. Have to remain patient, and we do have some time to react as it is, again, later this afternoon, late morning for us here on the West Coast. Unclear if the Fed will acknowledge the progress made in inflation, but they are probably going to mention the recent move higher in oil and food prices. On the wage front, the Atlanta Fed wage tracker showed that wage increases slowed from 6.5% to 5.3% in June, back down to levels we've not seen since late 2021. Additionally, the Indeed wage series confirmed this, showing that compensation growth slowed from 5.2 to 4.8 in June. Certainly some opposing forces in inflation. The Fed will not have the benefit of seeing their favorite PCE measure comes out on Friday. Got some new home sales numbers came out today. Measures signed contracts on new homes fell 2.5% in June to 697,000 unit pace. There was significant negative revision to May. And when factoring that in as well, sales really fell 8.7%, coming off a very strong rise in May. And sales are still up over the last 2 months. Sales are now up 24% year over year. I don't pay a lot of attention to the percentages on some of these things because it has a lot to do with what the base number was. There were 432,000 new homes for sale at the end of June, and the current pace of sales is 7.4 months supply, which is up from 7.2%. However, only 72,000 are completed. And looking at the pace of sales versus homes that are completed, available supply, there's only 1.2 months supply. There is a lot of demand for new homes as builders are selling air. 164,000 of the homes were sold, were not even started. So that's called anticipation. Median home price was reported at $415,000, which is down 4% year over year. But again, this median gets skewed by the mix of sales. Actual appreciation reports are showing that home prices have started to rise again since January, February, depending on the report, as covered in our report yesterday. That's a Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. Don't forget, every morning I do publish a Market Minute. It's a 2-page, 1 or 2 page little quick read on what we're expecting for the mortgage market. If you're not getting that, it's free. RSRmarketminute.com. RSRmarketminute.com. Go register. You get the report every morning. And it varies depending upon the news of the day, what time we get it out. But we try and get it out before 8 in the morning. Sometimes it's out right around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning as well. We share it on our social channels. So if you're not getting it by email, you might check the socials for it because we do publish it all the time. Every business day is what we strive for on that. So we got a couple of different topics we're going to get into today. We're going to chat a little bit about the S.A.V.E plan for students. We know we've been doing a lot on student loan. Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrstudentloanhelp.com, rsrstudentloanhelp.com. So let's chat a little bit about the S.A.V.E plan for students. This is a little bit new. So and remember, if you've got student loan debt, if you have any desire to buy a house and to keep your credit scores safe, you want to make sure you're watching these things. Don't bury your head in the sand. There are solutions for you. Don't let financial surprises derail your education journey. Education is the key that unlocks life's potential, but the journey is often laden with financial surprises that can derail dreams. As a longtime advocate for education and ethical lending practices, I've witnessed firsthand how these unexpected challenges can impact the lives of students and their families. Within today's workshop, we'll discuss a new initiative that aims to assist students in planning their financial futures, the S.A.V.E plan. What is the S.A.V.E plan? The U.S. Department of Education Federal Student Aid Office has recently launched the Student Aid Verification e-app, or S.A.V.E plan for short. This initiative is designed to streamline and simplify the financial aid verification process, reducing the burden on students and their families as well as schools. For those unfamiliar with the process, financial aid verification is the procedure schools use to confirm that the data reported on your FAFSA form is accurate. Why the S.A.V.E plan matters? Here's a fact. Navigating the process of securing student loans can be challenging and sometimes daunting. But it doesn't have to be this way. The S.A.V.E plan promises to make the financial aid process smoother, faster, and more understandable for students. This plan could mean fewer forms, less confusion, and quicker access to the much-needed funding for your education. As someone who has been in the financial industry for over 4 decades, I cannot emphasize enough the importance of such a streamlined process. How does the S.A.V.E plan help students? By reducing paperwork and simplifying the verification process. The S.A.V.E plan aims to make it easier for students to access the financial aid they need to pursue their education. Moreover, by expediting the aid approval process, students can focus more on their studies and less on the financial aspects of their education. It's a welcome change in a landscape that can often be confusing and stressful for students and their families. Bottom line, education is an investment, and like all investments, it requires careful planning and consideration. The S.A.V.E plan is a step in the right direction to make the process of securing financial aid less complicated, more transparent, and ultimately more accessible. Remember, while this is a helpful tool, it does not replace sound financial advice. For comprehensive understanding of your student loan options and how to best navigate them, consider seeking assistance from a trusted professional. I invite you to visit rsrstudentloanhelp.com, rsrstudentloanhelp.com, a resource designed to provide valuable insights and guidance on the subject. Moreover, be thrilled if you join me at ronsiegelradio.com. Put all kinds of information on there. We discuss a wide array of topics from financial literacy to home ownership and much more. Together, we can learn and grow, fostering a community that supports each other in our financial journeys. Remember, knowledge is power, and you have the ability to harness that power to shape your future. Stay educated, stay informed, stay ahead. That's a little workshop. Borrow Smart, brought to you by rsrstudentloanhelp.com, rsrstudentloanhelp.com. I'm going to break a little bit early because I don't think I have time to get the next story in before that, and got a lot more to cover. You can reach me anytime or off air. Number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily home and finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment. Easy for me to say. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. Great app. This app, pretty cool. It'll actually give you or let you monitor your credit score, bank accounts, asset accounts, value of your real estate. Gotta love that one. The value of your real estate gives you generally 4 different sources if they're available for your property. It'll tell you the 3 really good ones. It tells you Zillow, and it also gives you 97% of all properties available on the market nationwide. rsrmoney.com. Tips for making your best offer on a home. While the wild ride that was the unicorn years of housing is behind us, today's market is still competitive in many areas because the supply of homes for sale is still low. If you're looking to buy a home this season, know that the peak frenzy of bidding wars is in the rearview mirror, but you may still come up against some multiple offer scenarios. Here are a few things to consider to help you put your best foot forward when making an offer on a home. Number 1, lean on a real estate professional. Rely on an agent who can support your goals and help you understand what's happening in today's housing market. Agents are experts in the local market and on national trends too. They'll use both of those areas of expertise to make sure you have all the information you need to move with confidence. Plus, they know what's worked for other buyers in your area and what sellers may be looking for in an offer. It may seem simple, but catering to what a seller needs can help your offer stand out. As an article from Forbes says, quote, getting to know a local realtor where you're hoping to buy can also potentially give you a crucial edge in a tight housing market, unquote. Number 2, get pre-approved for a home loan, maybe even pre-underwritten. Having a clear budget in mind is especially important now, given the current affordability challenges. The best way to get a clear picture of what you can borrow is to work with a lender so you can get pre-approved or pre-underwritten for a home loan. That'll help you be more financially confident because you'll have a better understanding of your numbers. It shows sellers you're serious too, and that can give you a competitive edge if you do get into a multiple offer scenario. Number 3, make a fair offer. It's only natural to want the best deal you can get on a home. However, submitting an offer that's too low does have some risks. You don't want to make an offer that will be tossed out as soon as it's received just to see if it sticks. As Realtor.com explains, quote, an offer that's significantly lower than the listing price is often rejected by sellers who feel insulted. Most listing agents try to get their sellers to at least enter negotiations with buyers to counteroffer with a number a little closer to the list price. However, if a seller is offended by a buyer or isn't taking the buyer seriously, there's not much you or the real estate agent can do. The expertise your agent brings to this part of the process will help you stay competitive and find a price that's fair to you and the seller. Number 4, trust your agent's expertise throughout negotiations. During the unicorn years of housing, some buyers skipped home inspections or didn't ask for concessions from the seller in order to submit the winning bid on a home. An article from Bankrate explains This isn't happening as often today, and that's good news. Quote, while the market has largely calmed down since then, sellers are still very much in the driver's seat in this era of scarce housing inventory. It's not as common for buyers to waive inspections anymore, but it does still happen. It's the buyer's best interest to have a home inspected. Inspections alert you to existing or potential problems with the home, giving you not just an early heads up, but also a useful negotiating tactic, unquote. Fortunately, today's market is different, and you may have more negotiating power than before. When putting together an offer, your trusted real estate advisor will help you think through what levers to pull and which ones you may not want to compromise on. Bottom line, when you buy a home this summer, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with some great real estate professionals that they might be able to help you out a little bit on getting that offer accepted. There's a lot going on. You may want to give us a call. Again, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That is the real-time real estate segment. Again, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. It's one of the most common things that I hear or get questions on Ron Siegel Radio. And if you ever have questions, you can always put them in our comments on the shows themselves, or you can send an email, questions@ronsiegelradio.com. And you'll be able to get all of we would try and get back to every one of them. But one of the big things that always comes up is credit. We're always getting questions on credit. So I thought today, your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com, that maybe we'll do some a little bit of a longer session here and get you more credit answers and get you to some of the thoughts on most common questions. We're going to give you some of those right now. So, what is a good credit score? Almost everybody's surprised by this one. Good. That would be 670 to 740 is really what we would call the good range. So you really are looking at, first you got to understand, when somebody says credit score, what are they looking to accomplish? When you're talking about a credit score, are you talking about a FICO score for a loan? Are you talking about a credit card? Are you talking about an auto loan? Because there's a lot of different credit scores. Some of the credit card companies, they're not interested in FICO. They use Vantage, which is basically something that the bureaus came out with because to fend off FICO, who kind of has a monopoly. But most lenders, the overwhelming majority of lenders, use FICO scores. And when we're talking about FICO scores, we're talking about poor, 300 to 579. That would be very poor. Fair, 580 to 669. Good, 570 to 739. Very good or excellent, 740 to 799. Exceptional, over 800, and it goes all the way up to 850. If you're talking about a Vantage score, that's going to be running very poor, is going to be 300 to 499. Poor, 500 to 600. Fair, 601 to 660. Good, 661 to 780. And very good or excellent, 781 to 850. By these measures, a good score ranges, again, 670 to 739 on the FICO scale, 661 to 780 on the Vantage score scale. When you're thinking about Vantage, that's also going to be your Credit Karma, Credit Sesame. Those are Vantage scores. They are not FICO scores. Many lenders might have different criteria. Many banks, for example, consider a score of 700 above to be good. And many of the best rates and terms are available for applicants with even higher scores in the very good or exceptional range. When you're looking for a loan or a credit card, it pays to shop around. The same credit score might qualify you for a great rate with one lender and a more expensive loan with another. What is the difference between a credit score and a credit report? Your credit report provides a detailed record of your credit and payment history. It shows how much debt and how many open accounts you have, how long you've been managing credit accounts, a historical record of how and when you've paid your bills. You may have credit reports with one or more of the national consumer credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. While your credit report provides lots of information on your credit account management, a credit score is a single number calculated using the information in your credit report. Credit scores are calculated by credit scoring companies, including FICO and Vantage, and typically range from 300 to 850. Lenders and credit card companies use both credit score and report to determine how well you manage credit and how much risk they assume when they offer you a loan or credit card. Remember, on your FICO scores, the law basically tells them they have to give you 4 reasons that you don't have a perfect score. So even when somebody has an 800 FICO score, there's still going to be reasons that their score is lowered. And, they have to get pretty creative when you have an 800, but they'll do it. And it really creates a lot of confusion for people. It's a shame, but I do get that confusion quite regularly from folks when we're chatting about these things. So why do I have so many different scores? If you've received your credit score from a credit card issuer, your bank, credit reporting agencies such as Experian, you might have already noticed that your scores are different from day to day and place to place. There are many reasons why you have multiple credit scores. For starters, we're going to give you a list of factors that can result in having your different scores in different places. Each of the 3 credit bureaus maintains its own credit history on you. Because that data can vary, your scores from each bureau can vary as well. Rarely do I see the same score on all 3. I don't even see the same score on 2 out of 3 very often. FICO and Vantage use different scoring models, algorithms, to calculate your score. Within FICO and Vantage, there are even more scoring models. For example, FICO calculates scores for auto lending, mortgage, and credit card applications. Those are all different scores. Banks and other lenders may use their own algorithms to calculate custom scores. Rather than fixating on a single score, or worrying about the difference between one score and another, you might find it helpful to think of yourself as having a range of credit scores. If you maintain good credit habits, like paying all your bills on time every month, keeping credit card balances low, and maintaining a good credit mix, a few points of fluctuation among scores will not matter. You'll have solid credit scores across the board. The same holds true if you do not manage your credit accounts well. Your scores may vary slightly depending on where you get them, but they'll reflect your overall credit management behavior. What factors affect your credit score? Scoring algorithms applied to calculate your credit score are complex, but the 5 factors used to determine your credit score are pretty straightforward. Payment history. How you manage credit payments is the biggest factor in your credit score, accounting for 35% of your score. Credit utilization. How much of your available revolving credit, such as credit cards you're using, is the second most important factor in your credit score calculation. That accounts for 30% of your credit score. Length of credit history. How long you maintain your credit makes up 15%. Credit mix. How many different types of credit you manage makes up 10% of your score. Inquiries, new credit, that makes up 10% of your score. So I get a lot of people that worry about inquiries. It only accounts for 10% of your score. Don't feel too bad about that one. Building and maintaining good credit is as simple and complicated as using your credit responsibly in those 5 different areas. How can you improve your credit score? By understanding how your credit score is calculated. You can reverse engineer a better score. Consider the 5 criteria that I mentioned that FICO and Vantage use to determine your score: payment history, credit utilization, length of credit history, credit mix, and new credit or inquiries. And look for ways to optimize them. Any tactics take time. For instance, you can and should maintain a perfect payment history starting today, but many payments are made 30 days or more past due, or collections you've already experienced will remain on your credit report for 7 years from the date the account became late. If you're looking to improve your score in the short term, paying down outstanding credit card debt can help reduce your credit utilization ratio and thus improve your score. rsrccpayment.com will show you how to do that. And I think we're gonna show you a little clip that I did on that in the next segment. rsrccpayment.com. Let's go continue on here. I got a little bit more. How often is my credit score updated? Every single time it's pulled. Whenever the new relevant information is reported to your credit file, this can happen anytime. They don't store, easy for me to say, they don't store your score. What happens is anytime a institution gets your authorization and pulls your credit, that's when they calculate it, goes through the algorithm and spits out a new score for you. So you could run your credit right now and do it an hour later, and it may be different. They may have more information, whatever. But that's how that works. Because your credit score can change frequently, don't worry excessively about minor fluctuations. On the other hand, monitoring your credit regularly using a service like myfico.com, myfico.com can help you stay on top of cyclical changes to your credit score and help you detect new credit inquiries that may be the result of identity fraud. Can you get a loan or credit card with bad credit? In most instances, the answer is yes. Depends how bad. But in most instances, the answer is yes, you can. Is it cheap? No. The lenders are going to get paid for risk. And if you got a low credit score, a low FICO score, you're higher risk by the metrics that are used. So just go ahead and watch that part as well. Can you dispute something on your credit report? Yes. That's what our friends over at creditsanitizer.com do in our relationship with Blue Water Credit. So you go to creditsanitizer.com. They're going to get a little bit of information from you. They'll notify Blue Water Credit that, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones is going to be calling you. That way you get the Ron Siegel radio treatment. We love to have that there. And we're going to give you some tips on how to do this. And remember, on your credit score, on your credit report, nothing is mandatory on the report. The only thing that's mandatory is that everything that's there must be complete, it must be accurate, and it must be verifiable. If it is not complete, if it is not accurate, if it's not verifiable, it must be removed. So just throw that out there for you. Don't go on those little buttons that say dispute this. That's going to really hurt you more than it's going to help you. So have that free consultation with our friends over at Blue Water Credit. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, you're paying your credit card bill wrong. At least 95% of you are. We're going to show you how to do it the right way. Even, yes, you said you just pay. I heard you. You said you pay your credit card bill in full every month. Again, 95% pay it the wrong way. Reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solution for you. I've shared with you many times RSRCCpayment.com, RSRCCpayment.com. Great little strategy for increasing your credit scores, your FICO scores. So we're going to share that with you right now, how you can do that. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Over by a minute, my boss just pushed me over the